and welcome to Chapter 2. This will get us through weeks 3 and weeks 4. And in both of these, week 3, we're going to start working in QuickBooks Online by creating a company and then deleting the company. The book also provides a really good explanation I want to emphasize. There's the drill button that's in green, and it indicates activities that you're going to simulate in the test drive company, Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. The do button in purple or blue, depending on your eyesight, is your opportunity to practice. This is also where your homework assignments are going to come from. So I encourage you to walk through each one of those do buttons when they ask you to actually do something. Your goal should be to complete all the do buttons. In the week 3, we're also going to touch on accrual accounting, which means revenue is recorded when it is earned, not necessarily when the cash is received, and expenses are recorded when they are incurred or used. Again, not necessarily when the cash is being paid. Now, this distinction is extremely important because it will be the basis of how we record transactions in this course on the accrual basis of accounting. If you're a little rusty with your accounting, again, I encourage you to watch some of those videos that are on the Canvas course to refresh your memory. And of course, you can always ask me questions through the Ask a Question forum. What we're going to talk about also in the next week, week 4, again, all part of Chapter 2, we're going to walk through the different types of reports that accountants would normally use to organize and present information. Now, I want to specifically address a few of them. One is the trial balance. Now, accounting is hinged on this concept of dual entry, meaning for every debit transaction, there's an offsetting credit or number of credit transactions. We use the trial balance to ensure that we have equal debits and credits recorded into the different asset, liability, equity accounts. The journal. Now, this is an important distinction. Accountants use dual entry accounting. QuickBooks does too. But as the user, we don't necessarily see that. QuickBooks is not relying on your standard journal where you debit an account or series of accounts and credit an account or series of accounts. What QuickBooks is doing is relying on special journals. So if you took Business 51A, we practice some special journals, cash journals, sales journals, purchase journals, etc. So QuickBooks Online is using those special journals in order to facilitate the dual entry accounting process. So it makes it easier for the user because what we're seeing is actually we're following it on by forms, an invoice form or a purchase order form, which is then translating into one of the special journals that then creates the journal entries on the back end of the QuickBooks software. I also want to talk about profit and loss or the income statement. Probably the most important report, because it tells the business owner whether he or she is making money. Did your income exceed your expenses? If yes, congratulations. If not, we need to make some changes. Either reduce expenses, increase sales, or possibly increase the sale price. The fourth statement is the balance sheet the fourth report I want to talk about is the balance sheet. Almost as important as the income statement. This is the balance sheet, also known as a statement of financial position, and it shows how much the company has in assets and liabilities and the difference, or in other words, the equity in the business. So going back to the profit and loss statement, for example, let's assume the company is currently operating at a loss, which is typical for a new business. We could then look to the balance sheet to see how much cash do we have and how long can we sustain our operations before we need to raise more capital or acquire more debt. So again, that's just a brief overview, high level overview of the different reports. Again, I encourage you to really dig deep into the chapter for Chapter 2. And if you have questions, you can ask me in the forum. Thanks. Have a great week.